Hey, I'm Ben,
And I'm Evan.
and welcome to Coffee Break. Welcome back to Coffee Break with Ben and Evan, and today we have our second interview. Abby Kate's a good friend of ours. Hi, Abby.
Hi, Ben.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Evan.
Of course.
So Abby is a good friend of ours. Been going to see Shay for a while. Really cool story, if you ask me. Just a good story. She has crazy talent. You know,
Oh.
I'm not the
It's
first
true,
person
you
to
know
tell
it's
you that. And she's been singing for a while now. How long do you think you've been singing?
I mean, it's forever. Like just
Forever.
forever.
Just forever. Not that long ago.
All right. So we just sort of have Abby here and just wanted to know like a little bit about just her story and like how she's really come to be into like having the passion that she does. So going back to kind of your beginnings with singing, do you remember the first time you ever sang in front of an audience?
Yes, the first time I ever sang in front of an audience was kindergarten, and I had a solo, and it was to the song "Love Can Build a Bridge" by the Judds. and and I was like tiny and wearing this little dress. My mom has a video of it, and I'm just like, "Love can build a bridge," like and I had hand motions. It was great. It's one of my
perfect.
best performances.
And so from that point on, did you just fall in love with it?
Yeah,
at that
I
point?
mean, I did that, and then I kept on. I've been doing choir or like chorus or whatever since
Encore.
Yeah, encore. I've been doing choir since kindergarten, basically, because then I kept on doing it, and then I was in like an honor choir type thing before I started doing theater in second grade, and then I started doing theater from second grade on.
Cool.
Hey. Let's go back to theater. I know we've done several shows with you. So when did you start theater? Like what was your very first show?
My very first show was I was 8, and it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I played Grandpa Joe.
You played Grandpa
What?
Joe.
Yeah.
That's actually sick.
Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, because I was too little to play one of the kids, but because I was like a baby. But because I always have looked younger than I am. Like now you think I look 12, but like when I was 8, I looked like 5. So it's like, it's always been a theme in my life. But it was like, yeah, Grandpa Joe had a solo though. I remember because I sang something. I was like, "Cheer up, Charlie."
Yeah.
That
Did you have
part.
to change your voice at all?
No, they just had like an 8-year-old little child, like
Yes.
girl, sing this grandpa song.
There you go.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
We did that show and it was
Mm,
lovely. Josh Braden, but I'm just picturing
a meme.
Abby Kate's in there.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That's
Humble
awesome.
beginnings.
I mean, what would you say your favorite show was? I might have a good idea of what it.
Yeah. Well, I've done so many shows, like probably at this point, probably like over 30, because I've just been doing it
Holy.
nonstop since like the second grade. But my favorite like show I was in as a kid or like middle school ish, I was in this show called Danny Girl, and I was it was like a workshop, so it was like kind of an experimental show, and it was about Danny, and Danny had cancer, and it was kind of about like into her mind and her like transition from she had cancer, she was in remission, she got it again, and that kind of like transition for her, and it was like a kid look at kids having cancer, and I played Danny, and she ended up dying in the end, but it was really, really a
Oh,
cool
wow.
show.
You said this was middle school?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah, that
That's
was
pretty
one of the
impressive.
professional shows I did. But then my favorite show that I've done recently is Sound of Music.
why.
Because I played Maria.
She did a very good job. That was a great show. That was amazing.
That's great to hear that you had that kind of experience with professional theater before, because playing a kid like with that type of depth and having to die at the end of a show, like that's something heavy. Like
Yeah,
that's
for
a lot
sure.
to take on at that age.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
Not Grandpa Joe.
No.
George. Yeah, it's not Grandpa
No, it's
Joe.
not.
So we'll go to the next question. So you are known, like music's your thing,
Mhm.
right? And with that, you kind of have a good mindset of like, okay, where am I headed? So where do you think you're gonna head in the next couple of years?
I get that question a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sorry because I feel like it's kind of like that. I feel like it's that college question as well. Where are you going to college?
No, so right now I'm kind of planning on well, I'm applying to college now, but I'm pretty much certain I'm going to be deferring anywhere that I get into. And,
Smart.
Yeah, and this summer I'm touring with my friend Tyke James, and we're going to be doing some shows in California and then kind of elsewhere in the West as well. So
Over there,
that's going
yeah.
to be fun. And then after that, it's going to kind of be depending on what my situation is, what kind of contacts I have, and where I'm going to be living. Like, I would love to live in California because it has mountains and an ocean, and I love those two things. But also, I love Nashville too. So I'm planning on moving out to either California or Nashville in the next like year or two.
Yeah.
Sticking with California, I know you've spent a lot of time in LA recently.
Mhm.
Do you see any really big cultural differences between LA and Cincinnati?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely as Cincinnatians, it's like I feel like we have that idea of like Cali, dude, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not that much different. Like definitely LA is a lot more, it's like very
Surreal, kind of like. I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, not like it's more surreal when you're like in Hollywood and you're like they're
When you're there for a purpose, I feel like, especially not when
Yeah.
you're just there on vacation.
yeah. Like it's definitely there's definitely a different atmosphere. Like everyone's super nice in the Midwest. Like like excuse me, that kind of thing.
Pardon.
Yeah,
Pardon
just gonna
me.
squeeze by you right there. But yeah, people aren't as considerate, I feel like. But I don't know. It's still it has so many great things about it too. So it's kind
But
of
you don't see like that stereotypical everybody's so famous, everybody's a diva.
No. Especially like once you start meeting the people who are like Kelly or Adam, or like the people who are on The Voice, or like Mariah Carey. We met her. Like once you start meeting the people who everyone's like, oh, they're so famous, they're such divas. Like they're really not.
They're still people.
Yeah.
Still gotta
I mean,
memorize that.
there definitely are people who have that like I'm a star complex, but the people that I've met at least have not been that kind of like I'm better than you, like that kind of attitude, which is good.
That brings me to the next thing I wanted to ask you, because I know lately you've probably been bombarded with questions about The Voice and questions about all that. But I wanted to ask you if you could like describe almost like Kelly Clarkson as a real person. Because I know you've gotten to work with her a lot,
Yeah.
and like everybody sees her as either, oh, she's this really famous singer, or she's just this TV personality. But like I know you've met her kind of as a real human being.
Yeah. Kelly is so like she's the most normal person. Like you said, describe her as a normal person. That's literally like exactly like she's just so chill. Like if you could think of someone she's just like she's a mom. She's really talented. She's just like such a normal, kind person. Like when we were at rehearsals, she would come like wearing no makeup and just chilling, like that kind of thing. And then when we would do activities, like we did an escape room, she just melded well with everyone. She gets along with everyone. And we met like her sister and her husband, and they're both really cool too. Like they're very, and I think part of the reason why she is very like that is because she came from like humble beginnings kind of, and she
won the first ever
Yeah.
American Idol.
Yeah,
so
so she
she's
came
been in
from-
your shoes.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's part of that reason. And also she is kind of like Nashville oriented too. So she's like, she has that attitude too, because Nashville's a lot nicer attitude than LA is. But yeah. So yeah, she's super cool, super nice. And she's really helpful to her artist who she meets on The Voice, like afterwards. Like she helps them with whatever they need. So it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Did you get that vibe? I know you probably didn't really talk with the other judges as much, but did you get that vibe from any of the other judges that they were just sort of down to earth people?
I mean, they're all definitely really nice people. Like they wouldn't be doing what they were. I mean, The Voice definitely pays them a lot, but they wouldn't be. No one would do something they wouldn't want to do. Like nobody would go on a show and like pretend to help artists. Like everyone is doing it because they're passionate about helping people who aren't as like established as them get to the place that they want to be too. So I mean, they all have that same vein that they want to fulfill for every artist who's on there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely Jennifer and Kelly were both on American Idol, so they both know where we're coming from. And Blake is super like country chill, and Adam was kind of like hard for a while, but then he had daughters, and I think he's gotten a lot softer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
I
is
get
what
that.
everyone
That
who
makes sense.
yeah everyone who worked on the show said that he's gotten so much like nicer and softer ever since he had babies.
That's good to hear.
Well, that's good. So yeah, you were there for a long time over the summer.
Yeah, the whole summer basically.
Which is I think I saw you like twice over the summer.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much time you spend there, and in reality, they make it seem like you were only there for 3 weeks.
yeah.
That's the craziest thing
It's
about
weird.
watching you is because if you've ever like shown us YouTube clips of what you've done, we just think, oh yeah, we saw that last night, so that must have been filmed last night. You're like, no, that was 3 months ago we did that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, wait, yeah, because you just
Yeah,
do all that stuff.
absolutely.
That you don't know
Even
about.
like, yeah, it's super crazy. Like, I got there. So like, I did executive callbacks for The Voice, which is like when you get told that you go and you audition for producers again, and then you find out you got a blind audition. So I did that in March, and like during spring break, and I didn't tell anyone. Like, I just went to LA in spring break, did that executive callback, audition for the producers, and then they take you all into they take you into 2 rooms, and then one is the no room, one is the yes room.
Oh,
So it's like-
gosh.
oh,
Talk about nerve wracking.
Yeah, for sure. So it's the most nerve wracking. It was almost a little bit more nerve wracking than blinds because it literally like you walk in,
It's
she
the
walks,
audition for the
yeah.
audition.
And the casting producer, Michelle McNulty, she walks up to the front of the room and she's already been to the other room, and you're not allowed to cheer. You're not allowed to like you can't make noise or anything, and you can't really hear anyway. Like, it's not right next to each other. So she's already been to the other room, and she's like, all right, guys. So like she was super serious about it. And then she was like, based on all of your auditions, you've all been chosen for a blind audition. So like we all freaked out. It was super, super cool. And that was like in March. Like that was, and my first audition was in January. It's been like all year.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Props to you,
Yeah.
because I don't think any of us would even venture to guess that Abby Cates, like, she was gone at The Voice during spring break. and
Yeah,
that-
for sure.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I know
crazy.
you obviously weren't like allowed to announce it
Yeah.
before they said, but
No, yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
like because if you were gone like since January, you did a great job covering it up.
Yeah.
Like when you say the yes and the no rooms, like you didn't know that you were in the
Yeah,
yes
no,
room
no,
until
no.
she said
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a blind audition.
Yeah, because like you could look around and be like, oh, that person was good. Maybe it's the yes room, or like, oh, that person wasn't that good. Maybe we're in the no room. Like, it was crazy because you spent like a week there, and you did basically it was like you had like a voice lesson, and it was like kind of fun because you got to work with like a really good voice teacher, but then and you got to like jam with people, so that was cool. But at the end, it was like you have one audition, and that one audition is what's going to make you get either a blind audition or go home. So that was crazy. That it was just so crazy. Like, especially thinking about it now, like even right now, just like reflecting on it is so crazy. Thinking that it was in March, literally so long ago, and like meeting the people that are even still on it now, like because it's top 10 now, I think. Like, I met Sarah Grace in March, who's on the top 10 now, and she's on
Mhm.
Team Kelly. So it's like you meet those people and you spend so much time with them. It's so cool that like at that point, I think it was like 300 people left, and out of 60,000, it was 300. And like I met
60,000.
yeah 60,000
Like 60,000 people who auditioned for the
Yeah.
audition kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you were in a select group even at the very beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's
Holy.
amazing.
Yeah, so it was like people who I met in like the 300 even were on, like we were the last 6 people on Team Kelly. So it was before I went home. So it's super cool that like I got to meet those people, and then we stayed together the whole time.
Yeah,
which was
that's
super cool.
crazy, man.
So when you're going on, of course, to do your blind audition for like in front of the cameras, how long did you have to wait like backstage before they called you on? Did everyone have like a time slot they needed to be at?
Yeah, well, that was like, so for blinds, then you go back for blinds, there's 100 people, and then then throughout the month that you're there, they cut people. So it started with 107 and ended up at like 70. So they cut 30 people with like, you would go to rehearsal, and then after rehearsal, they'd call you and be like, sorry, we don't like you anymore. Like, you have to go home.
Sorry, I don't
Ooh.
like you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
I have one more question about just The Voice, one more in general. So talking about nerves, being in those 2 rooms, what do you think was more nerve wracking? Do you think like the blind auditions or, the live
Definitely lives, for
Live?
sure,
Yeah.
lives. Because like blinds, it's like I even I went the first day for
So
blinds.
you were the very. So I did hear rumors about this. So you were the very first person
yeah.
for this season, like for
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was gonna say to Flagels is that Evan. That's what I was gonna say to Evan is that like for blinds, I don't really know about the time slot thing because I literally was the first person that went on that day for the first day. The
Oh,
first person that went
wow.
on. Yeah,
that's actually pretty sick.
yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which is but I don't remember. Oh, blinds are
Yeah,
Lives.
just which one was more nerve wracking?
definitely lives because with blinds, it's like there's like 500 people in the room, which isn't that many, and then it's kind of a lot, but but then and all you care about is the judges. Like it doesn't matter. But with lives, there's 9 million people watching,
Mhm.
and it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's I couldn't even stand in front of a TV that was being shown for 9 million people.
I know, man. I wouldn't even be able to process that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um,
kudos to you. So
One more quick thing I wanted to throw in. I just had to ask this. The moment when you saw Kelly turn around,
hmm
the emotion that was going through you, was it relief? Was it excitement? Was it just like hope for
Yeah.
something?
I mean, I literally I kind of blacked out. Like everyone who has done a blind audition will tell you like you black out. Like you don't remember anything. Like
Mhm.
cuz it's crazy adrenaline. Like it's just so crazy.
for
It makes
sure,
sense.
yeah.
It's surreal to
Yeah,
think
and you
about it.
walk on, everyone is like dead silent. Like there's no
I
sound
hate
whatsoever. It's
that.
just like deafening silence. So like I mean, and the sound, the sound like the psh of the button,
mhm.
like when they turn on,
Is
it's
it
not.
loud?
Yeah, it's not real. It doesn't happen in real life. So you don't like if you're not
What?
looking at the coach, then you don't see until you turn to like see. So yeah, like it doesn't. And I expected it to happen too. Like I expected it to psych me out, and there's just no sound. There's no psh.
Secrets of the
I'm
I know.
voice.
Sorry,
That is-
sorry to
That
expose the
blows
voice.
my mind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
I've
mean
been
it's
lied
real.
to.
It's real, like in battles when they save someone or steal someone. That's real. But like with blinds, it's. I mean, obviously, like it made sense after because like they're not gonna push it while you're singing. It's not gonna make that sound.
does make sense.
Right? But it's so crazy because I didn't look at her until like she came on. Like she turned around and I looked at her smiling and I was like, oh my God. Okay. Like we don't, and then I was like, I don't have to try anymore. I'm on the
Did she
show.
hit
I
that
don't
on
care.
accident? Like without accident?
Yeah.
Can we check on that? Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
for real.
No,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it was super cool. Yeah. I kind of blacked out though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of Kelly and other big artists, who do you think your main inspiration for singing? For you have an amazing personality. How how does that all tie in? Who do you think inspired you the most?
Yeah, I mean for singing, definitely like writing wise, it's gotten like singing just vocally is definitely like people like Tori Kelly, like really good. Carter's nodding.
Carter agrees.
Yeah, like Tori Kelly, Billie Eilish is super cool. Like vocally, those kind of people. But recently, like with writing, because I have been writing for a really long time, but recently it's like evolved kind of. And I've been listening to a lot of like Third Story, they're really good, or like Yeba is a really amazing vocalist that Carter knows, and not even in like the music realm. Like my mom inspires me. Love her. We love Kate Cates.
Kate Cates is
Yes,
legend.
we do.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, vocally, like obviously, like all the crazy vocalists are the ones that inspire me. But then writing wise, I love like Lumineers, like that kind of like the lyrics that
Yeah,
can
they're
just like
good,
get
yeah.
you. I love those. I love that.
One last thing I wanted to ask you is coming back from all of these crazy experiences you have, coming back home to Cincinnati, is there like I'm sure there's pressure around like with your family, with people like just
Yeah.
talking to you about this stuff all the time, but for yourself and for your aspirations, do you feel any pressure to be something or to put out a certain amount of
Yeah.
things whenever?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do, especially from like my new like supporters now, like from The Voice. Like they're all like, "When are you gonna release music? When are you gonna release music?"
Fake fans.
Yeah, so I'm definitely working on it, and music should be out relatively soon, actually. So that's
Friday.
well, I have some new covers coming out tomorrow, which are fun, or one cover
Hey.
coming out tomorrow, but new covers coming out periodically throughout the next couple of right, Carter? Yes.
Yes.
Next little while.
Next
Next
little
little while we'll
while.
go with.
and I'll speak for me and Evan here, we've listened to it, and I mean, Abby, I said this the other day. I've heard you sing so many times, and I'm like, you never cease to amaze me. It's kind of, it's weird. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Abby. Like, yeah, she's such a great singer. But then always I'm like, oh my gosh. Like you saw me watch it and listen.
Yeah.
I'm like just jaw open, and I'm pretty rough when it comes to especially more pop
Yeah,
singers and more. But
definitely.
like it's crazy. I look forward to it this Friday.
Yes, everybody, listen.
Yeah,
You do have that
for
to
sure.
look forward
And then I
to.
definitely have some originals that I'm working
Which
on, and
I'm
hopefully
very
we'll be
excited about.
releasing them
Mhm.
next year, kind
That's
of
awesome.
soon. So yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Hmm.
All right, I think that about does it for what we had for you. Thanks a lot for being here, Abby.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Signing off.
See you guys.